You older folks, when you were growing up, I grew up in Los Angeles, which is a desert. Los Angeles is a desert.
Yeah.
When I was growing up as a child, you never saw any human being anywhere that carried a water bottle. No one ever carried. And it's a desert, it's hot. All summer long, no one had a water bottle. Because back in that time, the food had water in it, and you were hydrated with the food you were eating. Today, the food is so dehydrated, everyone's has water. You'll notice everything you're eating here is full of water. Major water content. Because that's the design. And the reason is because roots could spread out in soft ground and pull up water. Today, because the ground's compacted, I don't care how much you're watering, if there's no root system, it's not going into the plant. That's why farmers are watering their gardens, all fields, all, and the things are wilting. I had the most. I'm going to take you over here and show you a dramatic thing that's going to flip you out. I have a 7-year-old dwarf plum tree that has roots out 30 feet from the trunk.
Oh my gosh.
It's you know, and if you understand dwarf trees, how they develop dwarf trees is they take a cultivar you want and graft into a rootstock that doesn't develop roots. That's why it stays dwarf, because it doesn't have a large root system. It doesn't get big. I got a 7-year-old dwarf tree with roots out 30 feet from the trunk. I'm just saying, wow, God, you're awesome. And you see, this is why I never have to water. It's not about the amount of water in the ground. It's the plant's capacity to take it up via a root system. So if you got a root system with a radius, not a diameter of 30 feet, you don't need a lot of water. It's got it's taken up. I mean, it's just so huge. Let's walk over and check it out. That the stem, this thick part, is going to be tough and bitter. Watch this. Now, be honest. If you don't like it, be real.
Well, it's tender and it's not hard.
Because you don't like it.
The flavor is kind of harsh for me.
Okay. I've had
kale.
Someone here who eats kale regularly.
Gosh, I do. I do out of my garden.
Hoping my tours can end in October, because that's when the garden kind of dies. But people kept coming all year. People were coming in January. In the garden to eat food, I didn't have anything but kale and cilantro. So people were eating my kale, and everyone said this: "This is not bitter. This is sweet." Everyone. And when I hear something over and over the same thing, I'm kind of sensing that I'm supposed to learn something here. This is not coincidental. So I asked God. I says, "God, talk to me." He says, "Well, I'm not bitter. I've never been bitter. Everything I make is sweet. But the reason it's bitter is because the ground is bitter." And he gave me the word. He says, "All of nature is groaning and travailing, waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God." The ground is bitter. The soil is bitter. And because the soil is bitter, the plants are bitter. This is see, everything in nature is clearly revealing what's going on, and we're not getting it. And see, we have adjusted ourselves to eating undesirable, bitter stuff and think that's how it's supposed to be, but it's not. The Creator's good. He made nothing bitter. And because the ground has been abused, it's been depleted. You see, it's minerals that give flavor and vitality to food. Minerals. Minerals is the foundation to all of life. And when minerals are deficient, the food's deficient. When you put this covering down, all the minerals are returned, and everything starts tasting good. And every year it gets better and better and better. It's just so incredible, so wonderful.
So this is pine needles?
Well, this is fir. This is from a Douglas fir. This is a very recent application.
Okay.
And I just put it here, and look at that. Look, it moves fine, and it keep going. You see how damp it is down there?
Yeah.
And look how soft and beautiful it is.
Perfect.
In the middle of September, and you know why?
Plant them. June, July.
I took them out of my garden. I want all you gardeners to hear me. I planted my garden a row of cucumbers, and if I can find one here that's one might even be ready. There's a ton more up further, so we'll all get them.
That is incredibly flavorful.
See how
It's incredibly flavorful.
and the skin, how not you don't have to feel it.
No.
So anyway,
Yeah, exactly.
I took my cucumbers out of my garden. And see, when you transplant plants, the book says take soil with it, and when you move it, give it B1 and water. So I took it out of my ground, completely bare rooted, left all the soil there. I stuck it in my wood chips with no B1, no water, and this is happening. and what's so cool
Was it
about
in the soil or was it just in the wood chip?
I just planted in the wood chips. And you see now all the ones in my garden are starting to get tired and be done. These are just beginning. So this has, instead of having to plant twice, my same planting will extend my whole season way longer than two people's planting. I love that. Now, you see this plum tree right here? This is a 7-year-old dwarf plum, right there.
Wow.
Yeah, right next to that guy.
Oh my God.
You see this
Is there a car lock?
sucker coming out of the ground here? You see this? This is the same foliage as that because this is a root sucker coming from that tree. In 7 years, this is 30 feet. This is 30 feet.
Oh my God. Look at the plum.
This is that little tree there I planted with all the apples. I planted that in February and I took 30 apples off because the branches were going to break.
Okay. What kind of apple is that?
That one there is a Liberty, which is awesome.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's
What
ripe
did
yet,
we
but
do?
someone can try one and see.
What did we do wrong?
But look at this, 30 foot. This is not diameter. This is radius.
Right.
In 7 years on a dwarf tree. Remember they told you in school, the roots go as far out as a drip line.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it.